Hi, Adorners. So it's almost Cinco de Mayo, and I'm so excited to share with you my Cinco de Mayo burrito lasagna and faux mojito. Welcome back to Adornment with Adrienne. All right, Adorners. So I've preheated my oven to 375. Everything will be pretty much cooked when this goes in. This is my foil lined pan. All right, so I have some Tex-Mex pinto beans, Old El Paso, some Kojak homestyle cut. Okay, Adorner, so I've lined a pan with some aluminum foil. I have some Tex-Mex pinto beans, some Kojak cheese. I have an Old El Paso soft taco kit, some ground turkey, cilantro. This is the seasoning pack that goes with the kit. Some fresh cilantro, lime, onion, some diced tomatoes, as well as some club soda or sparkling soda with lime for our faux mojito. I also have some yellow Adorners rice. Okay, Adorner, so let's go ahead and get started. This is wonderful for Cinco de Mayo. Let me get that fresh mint as well for my faux mojito. Adorner, so before you get started, if you have any non-stick spray, you probably want to go ahead and spray your foil, your pan, or whatever pan you're using. This is some faux imitation rum that I'm using for my faux mojito. And I have a little fresh mint as well.
Okay, Adorners, so we have our fresh cilantro, our onion. I'm chopping up some. It's a white onion. If you have yellow, you can use that as well, or shallot. I've removed our ground turkey from our packaging, and now we're going to get started.
Okay, Adorner, so if you don't have a packet, of course you could use cumin, garlic powder, onion powder, salt, pepper, seasoning salt, that kind of thing. We're going to let this cook up. I added some black pepper as well. We're going to let this cook up, and I'll be right back. While our meat is cooking, I'll go ahead and line my pan with the tortillas from the kit. All right, Adorner, so I've gone ahead and started our lasagna, our burrito lasagna, and this is, we have our tortillas on the bottom and some yellow rice. Now I'm going to add in some beans, our meat, some diced tomatoes, and some cheese, and then I'm going to add another layer of tortillas. Okay, Adorner, so I've gone ahead and I've drained my can of diced tomatoes, and now I'm going to go ahead and add our beans. If you don't find these, you can use any kind of pinto beans as well. Okay. All right, Adorner, so I've added in our layer of beans, and now I'm going to add in, you can see I cooked up my ground turkey. All right, looking really great. And remember, this is okay, Adorner, so I've gone ahead and I've put in our ground turkey. All right, and now I'm going to add in some diced tomatoes, a layer of cheese, and then I'm going to add in another layer of our flour tortillas. Okay, all right, Adorner, so this is our layer of diced tomatoes, and now I'm going to sprinkle with cheese, maybe add a little cilantro, cover with, and then I'm going to cover this with our flour tortillas again and start all over. One more layer. All right, Adorner, so I'm sprinkling this with a nice layer of cheese. You can add as much cheese as, or delete. All right, Adorner, so we're adding some cheese here, and now it's time for our second layer of tortillas. So I've gone ahead and cut our tortillas in half, and then I've added it to the side, and now I'm going to fill in with the other tortillas. Here's our next layer, and here's our next layer. Here's our layer. Here are our tortillas, and it's time for our next layer. All right, Adorners, I'm using yellow rice for this, but you can go ahead and use any kind of rice you like. All right, Adorners, so if you aren't a meat eater, I have rice, beans, tomatoes, and then you can add your favorite cheese or vegan cheese. You don't have to use meat if you don't want to. Let me go ahead and finish this up. All right, Adorners, so we have our next layer finished, and now I'm going to go ahead and add in my top layer of tortillas, as well as another layer of cheese and cilantro. So basically I'm using 3 tortillas from the kit. I'm using 1, 2, and then I'm going to cut another one in half to fill in the side. Okay, so I've gone ahead and added in our cheese, and I'm just going to sprinkle in a little bit on.
Okay, Adorner, so I've gone ahead and preheated my oven to 375 and placed our lasagna into the oven, and we're going to let it cook for 30 minutes. Okay, Adorner, so now it's time to make our faux mojito. I'm using an imitation rum, which can be used in baking, but I'm going to add it to our drink. Instead of the actual rum, maybe about an ounce or so that you would use. I'm not really a big drinker, but I do like a mojito every now and then. What I did was also I went ahead and I made a simple syrup using some hot water and some sugar. And I'm going to add that to our drink with our lime and our fresh mint and our club soda that's actually flavored with lime. And then voila, we have our faux mojito for our celebration. All right, Adorners, so our lasagna, quote unquote, is done. And honestly, if I was going to do this again, I probably would use 2 kits for the tortillas and maybe a different cheese that melts a little easier, I think. But anyway, overall, I was really pleased with the way especially the way the taco ground turkey turned out. It was really delicious. Anyway, as always, thank you for joining me with Adornment with Adrienne. And instead of saying goodbye, say saving hello for another time. Please be sure to click like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. See you in the next video.